To be in a happy place. I feel that everybody should be able to speak the truth, no matter what that is. Just be happy, and that's what I'm going to be.
I am talking about Ariane Curry, Melody Shari, Martell Holt, and even how Tasha K ended up. It is all in this story. As we get more into this, I promise you will want every single detail, so do not click off then or even think of navigating away. It will only become more surprising and messy. Let us start by talking about how this whole thing was discovered. Melody Shari has recently been extremely open about the harassment and abuse she says she continues to endure at the hands of Martell Holt. She has lately expanded her platform to TikTok Live, where thousands of people watch to hear her viewpoint. Melody described how, in one of these incarnations, Martell allegedly pushed up on her, harassed her, and even threatened to murder her. She asserted that there is more at risk than petty ex-drama her and her children's safety. And what do you know? The moment Tasha K shared it on her own platform, it became viral, and the internet went crazy. While many had their opinions, Martell spoke for himself. Other cast members' names also started to be mentioned. The absurd thing is that once Tasha K shared Melody's live, the comment area swiftly turned into a battlefield. "We see you supporting Melody," many said. "We hear you, we believe in you." Surprisingly though, several people started victim shaming, primarily women. They called Melody resentful, encouraged her to move on, and acted as like she was making this whole thing up to sell more stuff. Do you believe it is feasible? Instead of providing support when a woman reports being harassed or stalked, some individuals decide to condemn her and hold her accountable for the situation. You should follow this video through to the finish, because I will go into great depth about why this story is harmful, how Martell Holt manipulates things, and how Ariane Curry and other people play right into his hands. But first, let us talk about Martell's reaction before we get too far. He could not just sit in silence after all. After Tasha K posted Melody's live, Martell allegedly texted her, asking, "Really? Anything to get those products sold?" while laughing. He even made an effort to retract his statements by asserting that if he had truly committed any of those offenses, he would have been put in jail. As if it were funny to arrive properly dressed, he ridiculed Melody for wearing what he called her Sunday best to court. He went on to clarify that although she had thought he was going to jail, he was only going to have to pay a $300 0-cent fee. In classic Martell form, he then asserted that the videos he supplied to Tasha K exposed the abuser's genuine identity. Melody is provoked by the typical Martell action. Let us end it there. Try recording her response so you can use it to prove she is the problem. We are all aware of the fact, though, when someone else responds negatively to something you initiated, you cannot play the victim. Let us talk about this Sunday's best nonsense for a moment. When Melody showed up in court, she was dressed appropriately and professionally in a white suit. Is not that how you should show up for court? A photograph of Martell in his attire was taken by Miss Hannah Grace, who was present in the courtroom at the time. So why is it a problem that Melody wears nice clothes but Martell doesn't? Not to be forgotten is Kleslaw, whose real name is Ariane Curry. According to Hannah Grace, she showed there in a very short skirt that was totally out of place in a courtroom. Is she getting flack for it though? Of course not. Rather than blame Ariane for showing up for a court appearance dressed as if she were going to a club, they would rather to reprimand Melody for being well-groomed. I suggest you read this narrative through to the very end because of the ludicrous double standards it contains. It is at this point that victim shaming needs to be addressed. Despite the fact that the incident had only happened a month prior, women were slamming Melody in Tasha K's comments, advising her to move on and that her story was out of date. What is the latest old news like? One individual said she does as much to him as he does to her. How exactly does Melody affect Martell? Every time we watch these films or hear these stories, Martell is the one pressuring her, so I have to stop and inquire. Martell is pushing up on her way. Martell is the one making a scene. Melody is not stalking Martell. She will not visit his home. His relationship with Ariane is unaffected by her. She is managing her businesses, setting boundaries, caring for herself, and parenting her kids. However, she is still blamed by others. This is precisely the reason why so many women are afraid to report harassment. They experience embarrassment rather than assistance. What do you know too? Melody's makeup artist, Jay Taylor, had to speak out. "Wow, absolutely wow," he said when he noticed those comments. He is also right. It is upsetting when other women criticize a mother for speaking up for her own safety. Thankfully, Melody was not the target of every comment. Some were right. Someone said, "At least she has stuff to sell." Another person exposed the real issue, asking why Martell felt the need to confront Mel. That is not what co-parenting Island. It is not even normal. It is just infatuation. And the entire narrative that Martell is attempting to convey simply collapses when you view it that way. And listen, before I continue, let me hook you right here. By the end of this video, you will notice how Ariane and Martell have changed. Some of the cast members, such as Letitia Scott, Marceau Scott, and even producer Carlos King, Melody are linked to this broader picture. You will see how the network has faced criticism for not doing enough to protect Melody, and you will understand why advocates are raising their voices and calling for enough to be enough. There is more to this story than one turbulent court appearance, therefore do not scroll, click off, or move. Let us also talk about that elevator event, which perfectly captured the differences between Melody Shri and Ariane Curry. After court, Melody, Ariane, Martell Holt, and even security found themselves in the same elevator. Just think of the tension that would arise. Instead of keeping quiet or acting with dignity, Ariane dared to assert that Melody was talking to someone's husband. In fact, despite their 5-year divorce, the conflict, and the contempt, Ariane still mocks Melody for having Martell as her partner. Confidence is not what that island. What that is desperation. Melody may have become angry. It is possible that she let Ariane drag her into a careless fight. But no, she did not. She kept her cool because she knows she stands to lose too much. That class is what we call it. Furthermore, it is clear that Martell and Ariane do not understand. Unfortunately, despite everything that has been demonstrated, some individuals still refuse to hold Martell accountable by arguing that Melody is spiteful, preoccupied, or using her misery for fame. They attempt to alter the truth about her, but let us face it, she prioritized her kids, created enterprises, and completely changed her life. Martell is the one who consistently shows up, pursues her, and takes advantage of any opportunity to mention her name in his play. It is Martell Holt, not Melody Shri, who seems resentful and obsessed. Still, there are voices in the background trying to make him the victim. We need to keep watching and listening, because this type of gaslighting is exactly how abusers get away with their crimes. Let us talk about Carlos King in relation to accountability. Fans have been attacking him because he is the producer of Love and Marriage Huntsville. If Melody had been communicating, asking for help, and expressing feelings of uneasiness for years, why did not production step in? Why were certain occurrences ignored or left out? Fans were moved when Melody texted production to urge them to visit her home because she did not feel safe, and no one responded, raising the possibility that the individuals responsible for securing the cast, not just Martell, had failed her. If that proves to be the case, Carlos King and the network will have to give a detailed explanation. Let us not forget about Marceau Scott and Letitia Scott, who are also implicated in this. Over the years, they have often downplayed Martell's behavior or even ridiculed Melody's pain. Supporters still recall how they would sometimes overlook Martell's actions. Wanda has also said on occasion that she will stand behind Melody, but her support has never been consistent. While Martell continues to get away with havoc, Melody often appears to be standing alone. Many of her admirers feel protective of her because they realize how isolated she is in this struggle. Additionally, when other women on the show do not voice their concerns, the cycle gets worse. When fans, cast members, or bloggers continue to brush this off as messy drama, the real threat is right here.